of resistance against an era of Trump. There is so much potential there. California, by the way, Yes California, the group that is pushing for the Cal exit, their email list jumped from fewer than 2,500 people. This was a fringe group before the election of Donald Trump, to 115,000 right now, according to the president, Louis Marinelli. That's pretty astonishing. I mean, that's very astonishing. And they're going to have 7,000 people out there. So, I'd rather not, frankly, see California pull out of the United States and go their own way. I get it, why somebody living in California might want to see that. But I'm one of these stay and fight guys. A very good friend of mine, in fact, right now is literally today on a plane with his wife to a little town in Mexico where there's a large American expat community to look at buying a house. One of my best friends. And a guy who, goes back to the 60s as an organizer. I mean, he's just like, I'm out of here. I'm old. I want to retire. I don't want to deal with this. Well, I get that. Not so much the I'm old part, but I get the some people are like, damn. Turns out, apparently, according to an article, I think this was on the Huffington Post this morning. Peter Thiel, the billionaire who brought down Gawker, by funding the Hulk Hogan's lawsuit against them, and who is a major donor to or a major participant in the Trump campaign and in the transition and everything else. This, Silicon Valley libertarian billionaire, according to this article, is actually a citizen of New Zealand. Apparently has dual citizenship, New Zealand and U.S., and, has land, has property in New Zealand. It's like his backup country, right? Well, I'm not a big fan of backup countries. And I've lived overseas. Louise and I and our kids lived in Germany for a year back in the 80s. And you get it that, cultures are different. And I frankly love the culture in the United States. I'm not all that fond of, the kind of so-called redneck culture, the Confederate culture, as it were. But it's part of my country. And I want to reach out to everybody and wake people up and be part of taking this country back rather than watching California go independent. So, we'll see how this comes out. Colin, in North Hollywood, California, you wanted to speak to this issue of California independence?
Yeah, Tom, great show. Wanted to give you a little bit of background. I was involved with a similar Cal exit campaign about 10 years ago under George Bush, and we were ridiculed like such a fringe joke. And all of a sudden, the day after the election, it's like this thing just hit the ground running. Mm. And,
You're talking the election of 2000? Of 2016. Okay.
This thing made a big comeback, and we all know Trump may not even realize what a pawn he is of Putin's. So what do you think about, and just one more thing, I don't think I heard you mention, the guy that's behind this big Yes California campaign, which used to be called Sovereign California, but nobody could spell sovereign. He's actually got an embassy in Moscow already, and the guy lives in Siberia. So do you think part of this Cal exit campaign just hitting the ground running the day after Trump got elected could be some kind of Russian psyop to destabilize or undermine the country?
Well, if you're reading the same article I am, and I've only got a couple of articles on this topic, apparently the guy had a Russian wife, and maybe it was a mail-order bride kind of thing, and was having a problem getting a visa for her to come into the United States. And that appears to be his connection to Russia. Whether this is, more evidence or some evidence of Russians messing with the United States or not, I have no idea. But I seriously, whether he has those motives or not, I'm curious about Californians and, what they think about it. So, Colin, thanks for the call. Time will tell. Time will tell. This is why, there really should be a bipartisan commission looking into all of this stuff, particularly if there was any involvement by Russians in our election and just messing in the United States.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
I think Americans have the right to know. The world has the right to know. Let's find the evidence and lay it out if it's there. We'll be back.